It's always a pleasure to be associated with ETB Bfsi. Be a part of an event like this where a lot of players from the industry are present, people who share a lot of experience in the industry, share their views, and a lovely engaged audience which asks relevant questions. I felt it was really great.
After the 2018 or 2018 crisis of DHFL and ILNFS, the questions were raised on whether NBFCs will collapse, whether NBFCs will no more be operational, or whether they will remain as a shadow bank. But the picture has changed.
Over the last 2 decades, of the credit which has got extended to NBFCs through banks, and then look at the overall defaults which have happened, and as a percentage of the overall lending, these defaults would possibly be among the lowest as compared to any other segment, possibly a infra or a power or a steel or cement.
So there are a lot of benefits when it comes to the microfinance institutions in terms of raising capital and even managing our ALM. So the benefits outweighs. If at all there are some concerns, I think it can easily be addressed. I think future is going to be co-lending.
I don't think financial services is going to be any different at a very high level. The challenge is going to be how the risk reward perceived by NBFC and banks are matched across asset classes.
Do all of these customers really have the same expectation of what a simplified, great experience is? How do you really measure it?
For me, the customer experience is not about beautiful UIs, it's all about how effortless you make for the customer to achieve his goals.
There are a lot of banks today which can learn from many of the practices of large NBFCs which have set trends in terms of the customer experience.
I think what is really important is understanding those signals as to whether this customer has the right intent, whether this customer has the right behavior with this credit, whether this customer is responsible, and the social standing of that customer.
Are you going to have a view around customer serviceability, or are you going to have a view around what I do with the data? So it's a paradigm shift which all material players and the business and the ecosystem has to have.
Any NBFC, whether it is on their books or on a co-lending model, should focus on getting the money back on the right time. If not, find solutions for the client to be hand-holded and then given him a nice solution so that we get the money back at the right time.
Those NBFCs who've been on the forefront from a traditional brick and mortar setup way back are now sort of evolving onto the next level in terms of how they want to transform their business function by virtue of using the technology.
While the innovation is numerator, you need to have a subsequent denominator of data privacy to take it further. And interestingly, the innovation can be used to fuel data privacy.
Now the second point is, once you get a technology on board or a platform on board, the opportunity to scale up. What were your limitations and what were your efficiencies? If you have a metric which is built around it, you know how much can that scale up to, and you define what your KPIs are going to be.
The differentiator between the NBFCs and banks will diminish with more digitization, more power of NBFCs, and the governance and compliance of the banks.